And that's really what changed my life because I got from Miss Continental, the owners of Play Dance Bar in Nashville were there and they offered me a job. And sponsored me for a work visa.
One of the owners, Joe Brown, and I, we go out occasionally and we scout for talent. We were just wanting to expand our cast, and I believe it was in 2014. I think that's the year she won Continental. So we went to Continental to scout because still back then, pageants were a little bit more, I guess, like still in demand. And not that they aren't now, but you know, just with Drag Race and a lot of drag on TV, it's kind of taken over a lot of it. So we went there to scout, and then we saw Brooklyn, and we were just blown away. She did, of course, a wonderful ballet talent, and I think that that just made her stand out to us because, I mean, you know, she's a professional ballet dancer, and her ballet troupe that she was working with for that talent was amazing. So once we got back to Nashville from Chicago, you know, that was the first one that we reached out to book. And she came a few months later. Continental's in September. I believe she came in February because, of course, she's a Canadian citizen at the time. So she would just come stateside for like, you know, a month or two at a time to work, do bookings. So that's really how we ended up, you know, scouting Brooklyn and bringing her here. I went out and watched her very first number in our 9 o'clock show, and I immediately called Joey and I said, you have got to come down tomorrow night and we are hiring this girl tomorrow. Sure enough, he came down Saturday. They had the conversation, and we had to work on immigration papers. I don't know if it was a green card or something like that. So it took a while to get that worked out, but we had her under contract within, like, I think a couple days, really.
My first impression of Brooke was bitch, actually. I love her to death. No, we've come to like really love each other. Obviously, we've been friends for a long time, but my first impression of her was, yeah, okay, she's a bitch. We work so close and we work so often with each other that being in that little room by ourselves a lot of days, you know, we would talk about like, you know, her anxiety, my anxiety, life, love, and the pursuit of happiness, and it just really evolved. And honestly, I really still consider her, even though she's been gone away from us for so long, I really still do consider her like one of kind of like my good friends.
Before Brooklyn moved to Nashville, I had gone to see her win Miss Continental in Chicago, which is basically the best of the best as far as female impersonator pageants go. And we had, you know, this is back in the days of Facebook, so we had exchanged Facebooks and like had like a cute little flirty thing going on. When we found out that she was going to move to Nashville because she had come and auditioned and she had made the cast, we became friends and all that stuff. And then she moved here. And nothing ever panned out as far as like a romantic thing or whatever. It was cool, you know, she was very excited to be here. We were very excited to have her. They kind of got into my head that, oh, this is a brand new boy queen and she's coming for your gig. You're going to be let go. You're going to get fired, you know, and she's going to take over kind of thing. Well, I heard that on a nightly basis, and you know, I was just being me, doing me kind of thing. And so it got pretty heated for, I would say, a couple months. There were doors slammed and words exchanged and stuff like that. And so it, unfortunately, back then I was also not comfortable in who I was and didn't realize what I offer and what I bring to the table kind of thing. We are two not only human beings, but we are two entertainers who are on opposite ends of the spectrum. We love the stage and we love to entertain, but like in a million years, I should have never have thought that, you know, she was gonna replace me or she was coming for my gig. She just wanted a job. She wanted to move to the United States. And it's interesting to look back on those kind of days and think, wow, that was all for nothing. Like, it really didn't matter. And so now it's awesome to see her once, you know, every 2 or 3 years, that when I see her, and it's really cool because it's like, oh my God, hi, you know, it's like old times, and it's just a really cool experience every time I get to see her.
So when Brooklyn did get hired and we moved her here from Toronto, we actually were station mates for at least a year or maybe a little longer, and then we ended up getting private dressing rooms. But Brooklyn and I were station mates, so I got to know her really, really well. She's always been so funny, just personable. And her drag, of course, she was already a great queen when she came, but she definitely was rougher around the edges. I don't believe she had been doing drag too long before she had won Continental, so it was like a whirlwind for her, basically. I think she had maybe done drag 2 or 3 years. When she moved here, actually, our Vanity is the one who really taught her how to do her makeup the way she does it today, like so polished and artistic. And she talks about that all the time, you know, that Vanity really did teach her how to do makeup.
In drag, you never stop growing. And I mean, she's grown immensely since the first time I saw her, even before on Drag Race, but like especially now that she's on Drag Race, she's just exploded. She looks amazing. She's doing great. Her looks are fabulous. But in specific in time when she was here at Nashville, I saw her grow a lot in her makeup. I would like to say that I kind of helped with that. It's not that she was bad at makeup, it just, she was doing all the right things, but in all the wrong places. But no, I've seen her grow a lot, and you know, I'm so excited to see where her journey in life takes her, and I'm so proud of her. I gush about her every time her name's brought up.
As far as like her drag aesthetic, she was already polished. Like I said, she had won Miss Continental, which is probably the most polished of polished pageants that you can win. And so she carried that throughout her nightly gigs as well, not just pageantry. And so she excelled at that. But what I saw the growth in her, she kind of was like a butterfly coming out of its cocoon as far as like being more outgoing or more personable. Not that she wasn't before. You could just tell from doing this 4 or 5 nights a week that she just really blossomed and gained a lot of confidence in herself. And now I think that's more than obvious when, whether it was on her season, especially in the finale, or now on Canada's Drag Race, I think that it is so evident of how much she has grown by leaps and bounds, and it's so wonderful to see.
And because we do drag so much here, you know, we do it 4 nights a week, 6 numbers, 3 shows. It really is like drag boot camp. And I think that just doing it on a regular basis really just elevated her. She was always talented, but she really kicked it up a notch.